Good morning, students. Today's our topic is working of sessions. In previous lectures, we have seen about cookies. Now we are going to work on sessions. The ASP.NET maintains unique ID, which is called as session ID for every session. So what is the session actually? A unique time interval between user and the server is called as session. So what do you mean by user? As a human is going to interact with the server? Yes, but not directly. So if you are going to have a direct connection to in this particular interaction is going to be browser to the server. In which browser your particular session is created or interaction is created to server. And what is the session tracking? That means session is creating a unique ID where every user which is in particular browser visiting to that particular server, so it creates a session ID for each user. For example, if you are logging from two different browsers or using two different browsers, there will be two session ID. That's why there is no mentioning of this particular explanation in many of the technical books. That's why I want to clarify, because if you are starting an interaction with some of the websites or some of the sessions where some of the applications where session ID is tracked, that has to be from particular browser. Because if you are logged in Chrome and you are trying to access your mail ID or something, some application in Firefox, that will be not possible because your session is maintained in Chrome only. So that's why I want to clarify it before we are proceeding ahead. So what session does? Session maintains an unique ID for each user interaction. This ID is generated using custom algorithm of that particular technology. For us right now, it is going to be generated by .NET custom algorithm and PHP and then JSP in every other web programming languages. It is generated using their custom algorithm. But one point is very much clear, that session ID for that particular using that particular browser is going to be unique always. Session ID will be sent to the client as cookies and the browser resend this upon each request. So that means session IDs are taking help of cookies for storing them. Okay, whether this is the server side session tracking, but to make the interaction fast, sometimes session takes help of cookies, because what they are doing, that they are keeping that particular sessions into your browsers. So I'll give you the example. I will give you the example of that. First thing, you log into Gmail using Chrome. Okay, give your credential. Then after login, then close Gmail, and immediately after few seconds, again open the Chrome and type Gmail. You will be redirected directly into your mail without asking username, password, anything. Why? Because your session ID with the help of cookies is stored on client browser. But this is not a mandatory part. Without cookies also session can work. But what will happen, as the session ID is for that unique interaction is not stored in cookies in the client's browser. So every time you are going to type a Gmail and you are closing that one, session will expire if you have disabled the cookies and you have to log in again. So security is going to be maintained. So what kind of sessions they are storing into cookies? That will be when you are going to hint a particular logout button or something. On that, you are going to call a code of session closing. That is called as session dot abandon, that we are going to learn. So working of session means how to create a sessions here, that we are going to learn. Whenever you are going to create any single variable with the session object, your session is automatically created. A session ID is automatically assigned for that particular user. Okay, that you can retrieve, that need not to display in the application that is with the server for every user. The following code shows how to get the session ID. If you want to retrieve the session ID, then session ID is a custom algorithm string. Okay, so that's why we can take it in string. So we have to use a variable string session ID whatever you are going to give a name, because this is the name of variable, and you will get session dot session ID. So what this particular code is going to give, that unique created session ID will be assigned to this string. That is going to be combination of letters, words, and numerics. If we haven't stored anything in the session, ASP.NET will generate a different session ID for each request, obviously. If you are not going to store anything in the session, for every session, there will be different session ID, because we have not created the object, so it will not create a session ID. So for per session, it will be different. Once the session has content, okay, once you have created a variable properly for that application or that user, the session ID will not change. It is automatically going to be unique one. Session ID is the only information. Remember, student, session ID is the only information which is sent to the client about sessions. Okay. As said before, ASP.NET sends the session ID in cookie name called as ASP.NET underscore session ID. But as earlier explained, this will not work if cookies are disabled by the visitor. Visitor means our user here in this case. In such cases, okay, in such cases, we cannot rely on the user. In that cases, ASP.NET passes a session ID through URL. Okay, and that URL is going to be an encrypted one. Okay. This behavior can be controlled by adding following section to web.config. Okay, there must be only one line we have to add to send the session ID through URI or URL in under system.web section. So under system.web section, what we have to maintain in our web.config system configuration file of .NET session, that is the tag, okay, and then stateless cookieless session state cookieless, okay, that is session state cookieless, and then use URI. This line we have to add here. Use both the user capital, there is no space. Once we are going to configure this one, then our session ID will be sent through browser as shown in this particular image. You can see here. Okay, this is going to be cookie sample. Not if it is able to store on client browser, cookie is not disabled, it will be stored. Otherwise, through the browser, that session ID can be identified. So you can see here in the bracket capital AS. Okay, after this particular thing that is somewhat dark, please maximize the screen if possible for you. This is OQ1SB 5JLAP 2DUR 55XXX something. This is the session ID that is created uniquely for each user and server interaction uniquely. So HTTP session state members means this particular class is having some properties and methods that we are going to learn. Why it is written as a member? Because these are not only properties, there might be some method. So this is property or method. This is property because there is no parenthesis. So count. The count property, that means session variable dot count, provides the number of items in the current session collection. So it will tell us ki how many session variables are you have created. There is no need ki you have to create only one variable, but one you have created, session ID will be generated. Then after that, you can create 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, n number. But there will be only one unique session ID. Then you have to check whether this session is going to be used in the format cookie or cookieless. So is cookieless, obviously this property is going to provide you Boolean value true or false. This will identify whether session is tracked with cookies or modified with URLs. If is cookieless true आया, so that means URLs we are using. Is cookieless false आया, so that means cookies are using. There is an important property called as is new session. Remember, whenever I am saying you something, that means it is going to be very much frequently used in your project for tracking a user. Is new session is the property which identifies whether the session was created for only current request or someone new or somewhere else is trying to open the session. This identifies whether the session was created for the current request. If no information in the session state, session will be recreated with every request. So here I want to give you some example how the sessions are secure. On every page, we have to check whether the session is new. Okay, if the same user with the same browser with the same interaction using the website interaction with the same unique session ID, the is new session will be written always false because this is a Boolean property. Because same user is using the same unique ID, then on every page we are checking whether it is new session, it is written false. If it is returning a false means same user is using, there is no new session. So this will help us to tackle the unwanted use of our application or our inside application where the user is only intended to use the web pages or internal information, not to outside. So what happens sometimes if you are not maintaining the session security, if you are writing something, if you are trying something and you are going into internal bank details of your website. So we are assuming here in this example, we are having a bank website account and there we have logged in, okay, without sessions, and we are just about to transfer something and you have opened that particular browser, okay, and you are going somewhere else. That means for, let us say, to drink and water or some important call comes and you just leave your laptop or your machine open. Then if someone else is coming in that room, copies the URL of your bank account ka internal pages ka and send it to himself. Send it to himself. Later on you come back, okay, you do your stuff and close that one without session. Then someone else with your URL who has copied that URL from your browser's address bar, then tries that URL at home. If there is no session maintenance, what will happen? With that URL, the next person who is trying to steal the things is going to open your internal information. Okay, and then he can use your bank account. Okay, this is just a story on the very basic level because this is not happening because every bank and other applications are secure enough and they are aware about these kind of situations. So what happens in each new session when we create, we will check when the some person creates that particular. Okay, now what I said, when some person has that particular URL inside your banking account details of address bar, that if he uses on some different machine and different browser, obviously the new session ID will be generated and is new session will return true. And we will write a code. If there is new session and if it is true, then we can post them to again login. Okay, to again login. And obviously that particular user will not having our username login credential, so he will be out of our website. On the same machine, let us say you have left the machine, okay, and if there are session maintained, so session we can take after 1 or 2 minutes, we can destroy the session, so new session will be started. And is you are checking is new session on our every page, if the same machine, same computer, same browser, if user using that one after we have sufficiently logged out or after session timeout, the is new session property will return true. And whenever it returns true, that means same user is not using, someone new is tried to access the session through the URL. So we can abandon or terminate the session and force the user to log in again. Hope you understand this particular example. In story format, I have tried to tell you the importance of is new session because it keeps track whether the continuous session is there or so a little bit some problem is there, some interaction time was more, so idle session was idle, nobody is using and someone is trying, then it will force you to force you again. But obviously we have to write the appropriate code, just to write is new session true or false. If true, then what to done, if false, then what to done, that code we have to write in each and every page of our website. That's why when I have discussed the difference between application and session, session is available at the pages where you are checking with the sessions. Application variable is available on the all the pages regardless of checking it. The next property is mode. The mode provides an enumerated value that explains how ASP.NET stores session state information. This storage is determined based on web.config setting. So that is not so as such a used property, but it is there. You know that already we have seen session ID is a property that provides a string with unique session identifier for current session. So there is a cross check between is new session. We can check the session कि यूजर का जो करंट सेशन जनरेट हुआ है और जो नया यूजर ट्राई कर रहा है विथ यूआरएल उसका सेशन आईडी और अपना सेशन आईडी मैच हो रहा है नहीं मैच हो रहा है. अगर मैच हो रहा है तो लेट द यूजर कंटिन्यू टू वर्क ऑन वेबसाइट, अदरवाइज सेशन टर्मिनेट करो, एप्लीकेशन टर्मिनेट करो. Then this is again the important property, session ID as well as timeout. We can set the timeout. If user is not acting on our website, means interacting to our website and unique interaction is tracked with the session. Let us say user has kept 2-3 minutes machine idle. We can call the session.timeout and we can terminate the session with calling session.abandon method. The session timeout determines the number of minutes that will elapse before the current session can be abandoned, provided that there are no more requests received from the client. If interaction is going on, the timing, the idle time will be calculated for session timeout. What is the idle time? For example, now I have kept a machine open, okay, and now I am not touching or not giving some input, not scrolling anything, not acting on that web page. That time will be considered as a idle time. Many of you might experience it with the applications that are very much secure, like mail ID. If you are not storing the values in cookies, then after few time it automatically logs out. There are many sites after few idle time that logs out. There is a good website called as irctc.co.in, railway reservation ka website. Okay, if you are idle for 2-3 minutes, this time you can set how much time of idle and then you can call timeout. Now these are the properties. Let us see few of the methods. Abandon. So session.abandon, this is the method that cancels the current session immediately and release all the memory it is occupied. So this is the important method, because session start method we need not need to write. Once we create the session variable, session automatically starts, creates the session ID, then we can use properties. But to terminate the session, we have to use session.abandon method. We have to call. This is useful technique in logout page to ensure that server memory is reclaimed as quickly as possible. So all the variables stored in server's memory with the creation of session variables that will be released and session will be terminated. There is another method called as clear. This will remove all the session item but does not change the current session identifier. So values will be removed from the session, but session ID will be kept. So we have learned in working with session, creating a session. So our next point is configuring the session state. So that means we are using the properties, what kind of sessions we want. Each session will have timeout value by default 20 minutes. If you are not setting explicitly, okay. So if you are not setting it explicitly for less than 20 minutes, it will be by default 20 minutes. For 20 minutes, you need not to write. If you want to increase also, it is also possible. If you want to decrease also, it is possible. Depends on your session, your application security, how much time idle you want to give it to user. If the page is not getting any request within timeout limit specified, ASP.NET will assume that user has left the application and it immediately terminates the session and fires the end event. This helps the server to clean up unused sessions and gives room for new requests. The timeout value can be changed from web.config and or through code. You can also use through code in CS file like session.timeout 30. Okay. Then session state timeout 30. Okay. Okay. So we can manage the session timeout. So how to write in web.config? Session state. Remember the writing type of variables, small case, capital. So first S is small. Okay, there is no space. Second S is capital. Okay, session state timeout 30. That means 30 minutes we are setting. We can modify it. Then session dot timeout So our next point is using application state. Using application state. So the information stored in application state is available on every web page website, from loading website first page to completely closing the website from the browser. So if we have to store application specific information, then we can use application object. Okay. So if you want some information supposed to be anywhere, any pages, and we need not concern about that values to security concern nahi hai, so then use application state, almost global state. The application state is used to store correspondings to all variables on ASP.NET application. The data in application state is stored once and read several times because it is not available for only one user. It is available for all the user on all the pages, and server can keep track as all the users at once, not it uses the HTTP application state class to store and share data through application. This class provides a lock method so that we can lock the session variable. Okay, application variable, sorry, we can lock the application variable, which can be used to ensure that only one user is able to access and modify the data of an application at a time. So it is a simple application in square bracket. You can create the application variable. That variable will be available more than one pages, and in any page you create on one page, you can access it on any page. So it is a global type of variable. In the object form, obviously you have to read, you have to convert it into string. The most important question asked in many exams, as you know, .NET doesn't support the global variable declarations in the code, but the global.asx file, which is also known as ASP.NET application file, is an optional file that contains the code for responding to application level events which are raised by ASP.NET or by HTTP modules. This file resides in root directory of ASP.NET based applications. It is parsed and dynamically compiled by ASP.NET. This file itself is configured so that any direct URL request is automatically rejected. The external users cannot download or view the code written within it. So this is an important file with the security of global.asx file. I am reading it once again. Okay. The global.asx file itself is configured in such a way that any direct URL request, if somebody direct for it, it is automatically rejected. Okay. So the external user cannot download. So the external user cannot download or view the content of global.asx file. So this file is secure. It does not need to recompilation or no change has to be made it, because अगर उसमें कुछ changes नहीं किए तो हमको recompile करने की जरूरत नहीं, but changes किए तो we have to recompile the application. Already we have seen the example of tracking the number of user with the help of global.asx file. Okay, so in global.asx file, this contains two types of event. Those are events which are fired for every request. So let us see that one. Give me a minute so that we can get the details. So the global.asx file contains two types of event. Those are first type, the event which is executed, or the methods that are part of global.aspx, which are called for every request. Okay, so that is like application underscore begin request. Okay, so obviously this event is raised at the start of every request. Then once you authenticated user, then application underscore authenticated request, authenticate request. Why? Because the server has to authenticate the particular user. This event arose just before the user credentials are authenticated. We can specify our own authentication logic here to provide custom authentication. Okay, these whatever events we are learning that are going to be called for or fired for each and every request if you are using global.asx. One thing before we are going, so we are talking about global.asx file. All the events of two types that we are going to learn here are not going to be default part of that file, and global.asx file is not by default present in our application. We need to add it. We have seen the example of tracking the number of users visiting our site. Then there is another event called as authorized request. This event is raised after successful compilation of authentication with user's credential. This event is used to determine user permission. You can use this method to give authorization rights to user. Then application resolve cache, this particular event raised after completion of authorization request. That work is completed and then event can be used in conjunction with the output caching. With output caching, we rendered an HTML page is reused without executing its code. Application acquire request state. The event is raised just before the session specific data. Application pre-request handler called before handler executes the request. Post request handler execute release request state, then update request cache, and then application end request. Many of the event we are not going to use in our application because this is not going to be used. These all events are not going to be used, but these all events, one thing is important, this all thing is by default it is called. When we have used that session tracing, if we have included the global.asx file in our application, so there will be all the information about these all acquire state, request handler state, and everything. If we have nothing to do but application raises that event and global.asx files. So that means in global.asx files, we can write all these events. So in exam, if there is a 5 marks question, explain the use of global.asx, then obviously few theory that I have told, what is the purpose, what are the security construct, and then few 3-4 methods from this particular point. And the next type of events which are not fired for every request, but events that we are using in our projects frequently, that we have seen. So in our previous example, when we have tracked the number of users visiting, called as, in that we have used this particular event. So you know that application start, application underscore start. This event is raised when the application starts up and application domain is created. Session underscore start. So application start means whenever user starts the website or web application starts, this event is called. The session start, if you are not maintaining the session at the page level, you can also use it in global.asx file, session underscore start. So if we are using this event, so if you are writing something in that, then session will start and session ID will be created. This event raised for each time new session begins. This is a good place to put the code that is session specific. Then obviously, if there is some error, we have an event in global.asx application underscore error. So whatever unhandled error you want to handle at global space, you can handle there. Then there is an event called as session underscore end. This event is called when session of user ends. Then next event is application end. So obviously whatever session start and application start, obviously it will be subsequently followed by session end and application end. Once the complete application is closed, there is a event that is called in global.asx file called as application underscore dispose. This event is fired after the web application is destroyed. Okay. So this event is used to reclaim the memory at it occupied. To summarize our whole chapter, there is a table of comparison is given where we can compare the state management options. So first thing, type of application state. If you are using application state or application object to store the variable, so obviously global, each and every page pe available rahega, and it can be shared all the clients, but it has also having disadvantage. If you are using more application variable, तो scalability बढ़ेगा. That means more size of application होगा. Okay. Then application will not be shared across multiple machines in web farm or processors in web garden. That means number of machines जितना उसको use करेगा उतना वो misuse होगा. Misuse होने के chances है, but as it is global, it is not such a secure thing. Primary purpose of by the data cache in ASP.NET. If the number of application variable increases, data cache increase होता है, application load slow होता है. Then next is session. Association is not global, but it is for individual client. We can also configure advantages that we can also configure to be shared across machines in web farm and processes in web garden, because we are not tracking each and every page and everywhere. We are tracking individual clients, so it is possible. But to execute the session fast, we require cookie or URL managing. So cookies can be disabled, that is a drawback, but URL is in address bar, so there is no issue. Again, the drawback is off-host storage can be inefficient. So because this is maintained on the server, so obviously, if you are keeping a much more number of variables in session, much more important information and size information is more, then it is going to be tough task. Cookies, we can also create for per client because why per client? Because cookies are stored in client side. First, it is the client side state management technique, and the data is stored on client machine. The cookies works regardless of server configuration. That is benefits because it is on client side, client ka browser, state stored on client, so it is fastly accessible. Server पे load नहीं आता है. Then state can live beyond the current session because the value is there in browser. Whether आप session बंद भी करोगे तो variable कहाँ पे store है cookies का? Client side पे. Drawback क्या है? Limited memory. Then client may no support cookies or client can disable them. The state is sent back and forth with each request. So cookies से हम लोग server और client से interaction करना पड़ता है. Then we have learned view state at the start that we are going to learn and some of the chapter. This is across the post request to the same page, means one page to another page and another page to previous page. The view state works. It is not work from one to third or fourth page. So it is subsequent request और postback request में आप लोग view state use कर सकते हो. This work regardless of server configuration, that is the benefit. But the state is written only post request, सिर्फ एक पेज से दूसरे पेज पे ही जा सकता है. Okay, state is sent back and forth. So back and forth ही उसका drawback है. उसके beyond वो value store नहीं रहेगा. That is the drawback. So thank you very much for patiently listening to today's lecture. Okay. To sum up the lecture, we will just go through once again what kind of state we have learned. Application state, session state as a server side session states tracking or what is that state management techniques, and then cookies and view as a client side state management technique. Then how to create a cookies, how to use cookies, how to create a sessions, working of sessions, and how to difference between that and comparison. So thank you very much for patiently listening. We are stopping here. Thank you.